Yeah.
Did you say the name?
The empowerment plan. No. Yes. Yes. Any more questions?
Do you have that literature?
We have it online. I can print it up, but we don't normally walk around printed. We can give you a business card, and it's all online. You can meet the entire team, know who they are, meet all of them, find out how we're structured. All of that's online.
What's the web address?
Empowermentplan.org.
When is the code that's going to fund a code? When is that going to go live?
It's gonna go. We're gonna do a soft launch of it the end of this summer, probably around November, October. We're gonna do a launch of 100 codes, just to test the market, and we'll see how we're doing with those 100. And then the next year we'll do the full launch. So 100 codes are gonna come out very soon. This year, we're very excited about it.
And will it have the same name? Are you branding the for-profit code differently than the...
Just a little bit. It's going to be just EMPWR, Empower Detroit, as the brand. Consider if you Google that right now, we come up. So might as well stick with the same train as far as branding goes. But yeah. It will have the option. We're going to do a line of clothes. We're going to do 3 different options: a shorter jacket, longer, and then full sleeping bag coat to start. Because obviously it's not something that everybody wants to walk around with. This is a large version, by the way. But not everybody wants to walk around with a giant sleeping bag coat. And I personally would rather wear something a little shorter. So we're developing at least the first line of 3, and that the ladies are a big part of the design process. So one woman will stand out per coat as the designer, and she will have signed it, because there's only going to be limited editions of them. Probably only sell 2,000 of each unit. And so it's going to be signed and numbered and have her portrait within it as well. So it's there. Yeah. Yeah. We can. We've done that. We're finally being able to. We're almost at that scaling point of a full manufacturing facility where we can do cut and sew. So we're building out cut this month. So once we can do that, we've already sized it. We can size it to the kids as well. But we're actually working with Salvation Army right now on being able to get the kids' jackets within those facilities. Because it's very tough to get them into shelters. Most of the time, once a mother has gone into the shelter, the kids are either with family or with other foster care. But we're trying to get it into Salvation Army first. I think that's the best arm. Yes. So, yes.
So our church has the open doors, it's a kitchen, and there's no shelter services here.
Yeah.
I just wondered if you had any contact with Ben Ogden, the director of that, and also if we made contributions, could that go to codes that would be given to the open door to decide to decide?
Oh yeah. All it has to say is usually somebody contacts us. We're doing it right now online. There's a CrowdRise platform where you could just put the church in, and anybody that wanted to give any money could contribute whatever they could contribute to coats to go to your location. That's the best way to fundraise right now. Otherwise, checks can be mailed to us saying we want it at this church for this coat. There's 5 or 6 different ways you can do it, but those are the 2 easiest, unless we want to reach out to the Don Ogden, you said? Ogden?
Ben Ogden is the director of the program.
Yeah.
But we get 400 or more, 500 meals on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Meals are the main program is a Thursday program. There's many other programs throughout the week.
Okay, that's great.
But he would probably be a source of maybe workers, because we had the same sort of clientele who were on the street or come out of prisons, and the programs to try to work with them and bring them up in society. So he would maybe be able to give some, and we're probably the closest facility to your location.
We do a lot of work with NSO too. That's our main outreach here, and they did 300 to 600 coats last winter, just for us. But yeah, there's a bunch of. They distributed 150 with us within an hour.
And also Open Door brings in, because we are indirectly part of it. People come in. I mean, it's a big deal for churches from up up in Bluefield. They come here,
60,
so they know about
60 churches.
60 churches. Yeah,
that would be.
So it's it's not just Detroit, because then they feel like they're connected. So
that would be fantastic. We could do
all the churches in Christmas.
Yeah. We could do that. That's no problem. We just have to contact with somebody that wants how many you guys need, how many you guys think you can distribute. And usually I like to come, or one of our team likes to come here and see how they would be handed out. We do like a test group of like 10 or 20, see how quickly they go, how it's done within your organization, and then that's when we can do like 300, 500 coats, whatever it takes.
You should see our clothing room. You'd probably be aghast.
There's so
we have a lot of clothing here.
Oh, you had a question. Sorry, really quick.
I was wondering, like during the cold winter months,
Yeah.
that looks really designed like for cold winter and everything.
Super cool.
And I was wondering, would they be, just like you're doing with jackets and stuff like that, would they be doing like with gloves as well?
The gloves we haven't added on. They initially were part of the design, but they got pulled off most of the time because the people found them frustrating. So we've eliminated those over time. The priority part was the length, and then just the heat and thermal retention. The next one is going to be, this one's rated to about like 17 degrees. The next one will be just above 0. Because we're eliminating a process of quilting, so it's a little bit warmer. And far more pocket storage. So we're thinking of just pairing up with some individuals to either we usually put gloves in at this point into the pockets when we hand them out, or we're actually beginning the process of being able to produce ourselves out of the scrap that we produce while making the coats. But since we haven't been a cut facility yet, we would have to request our scrap from somebody else. So we've mostly just been sticking donated gloves and soap and deodorant into the pockets before they're handed out. And they're rolled up as bags and then handed out that way. We'd love to see if we can get some coats to you guys. That'd be fun. That'd be really great. Any other questions? You had somebody else had a question. No?
Are those waterproof?
Yep, water resistant, and they're quite thermal because they have hollow fiber polypropylene on the inside, which is a great form of insulation. It's mimicking wool, but it's completely, antimicrobial as well. So if it does get wet, it's not going to grow anything, which is a big thing with a lot of insulation, especially down. Once it's wet, it's done for. So even if this does get wet, it will dry out on its own. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Any other questions?
Do you have a patent on it?
Yeah, we have a patent on some of the processes as well, and we're developing a material with GM that we've been working on for 2 years, and we have exclusivity within the market, and we are on the patent as well for that. So IP is a big part of it, but it's very hard to patent a garment. It's very difficult to do that. You can't really technically do it. You have to do it on the mechanics of it. So the part that rolls into the sleeping bag and the part that rolls into a bag are the things that we have the patent on. Because the rest of it is clothing. It's really tough. And there's so many things like this out there, iterations on the same thing. Really, the unique stuff we're doing is with the women, and just so happens we have this product that comes out of it. Any more questions? Good.
What's your background? Are you from Detroit? Other than CC?
No, I didn't go to school in the city. I was born right outside of the city. Family grew up here, but then moved out probably in 1970, 1980 into Huntington Woods, which is great. I grew up all around the area, Pontiac, Detroit, Clarkston, Huntington Woods. We bounced around a lot. So I went to a bunch of different schools and ended up here. Also lived quite a few different places on my own, Chicago, New York, and then decided to come back here and finish what I had started with this class project. So just kept on going all through school, doing this at the same time, and then graduated and made this the full-time gig. It's been a process. I started this when I was 20. I'm 23, so much older. But we've been doing this for a few years. It's exciting. It's really exciting. So we're really excited about getting into that social venture type of funds, where the charitable side, the mission part of what we're doing, is so ingrained that when we launch the for-profit, it just makes it stronger.
So does everyone at CCS have a project that has entrepreneurial potential, or was that unique for you, or how's that?
That's not, no, there's other projects that have had entrepreneurial, reaches out into the community. Not many of them gone this long or this far, but I think that's new to CCS. I think this is a new, something that they're trying now, because they're very used to training for a job placement. And after 2008, job placement got so shaky, even for design students that were coming out of CCS, plus your student loan debt that you're most likely going to have when you got out. Most of it was on job placement. So CCS is a relatively expensive school, private school. And if I didn't get financial aid and student loans, all these other, and didn't end up with any student loans, I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing now. I was able to do this for years without getting paid, and that wasn't something I didn't worry about. Like, I can still cut myself off salary net right now and not worry about the repercussions. I'm 23, I have no assets, I rent, and I have nothing to my name, so I can start it. But most of my friends that went to CCS, if they had an idea, still had to go out and get a job purely because they're paying $700 or up to $900 a month in just student loan debt. So it's something that, I wish more of my friends could have gone out and done things, but it's just very restrictive right now to do it. It's a tough climate medically.
I was just wondering, what are the possibilities for the women sewing coats, to move on and move out? How's that transferable to other work for them?
We do a bunch of things with them. So we have partners with 5 or 6 different nonprofits, as well as for-profit companies. CompuWare has come in and done classes. We have holistic doctors come in as well. We have classes on budgeting, financial stability, investment, even if they're interested. We have motivational speakers come on in. We get lots of other certifications on board, but mostly it's just having that recent employment on your resume that has lasted more than a few months, and that is equipping you with other knowledge as well, other skill sets. So what we do, the nonprofit right now, is permanent work. It's, we hire the women at $8 an hour and they work up their way to $13. We're hoping to get them up to $15 an hour once we transfer them over to the for-profit. So we'll offer that job to the women. So you can come work for us at the for-profit company and produce these as well as many other things. Or we can help place you with our network of people that we have. And over the past couple of years, it's amazing how many sewing-based or fashion-based entities have come up in Detroit. And now that we have a whole group of women that are trained to handle it, we can place them within those fields if they're interested in going into another sewing field. Otherwise, they've updated their resume. They've reached a point of financial stability. They have their own house. They're paying their own bills. Usually by the time after year 1, they're off all government support systems. So no more SSI, no more food stamps. They can do it on their own. So a big part of that is, saying they can actually go out and find that other job and not have to worry if they needed to. We have a pretty high retention rate, let's just say that. They're amazing women, and they get, we try to do as much as we possibly can for them and with them. Yeah, a good retention rate. We have one of our ladies says, you will actually physically have to take my chair outside in order to get me to leave. So, and she's 60. She thought she was going to be retiring when she got out of prison. So, but she's one of the best. She's kind of like the den mother for everybody.